Devaki Nandana Krishna Gita Patena Tushyati Yatana Vede Dhanena Yajnatirtha Vrtati Bihi. The son of Devaki, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, cannot be satisfied by anyone's study of the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows, as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita. Okay, let's take darshan of deities. First, we have Lord Nrsimha. Lord Nrsimha is in Mayapur. Okay, I think they put a wrong picture here. This is not from Mayapur. Oh, sorry, yeah, this Nrsimha Dev is from Mayapur. Yes, correct. We have Sri Sri Radha Neela Madhava. This is from Houston. Houston, okay. We have Gaura Nitai. They are called Sri Sri Nitai Chandra and Sri Chaitanya Chandra. Okay, and okay, these are the deities, Radha Krishna deities. And this is Giri Govardhan. Y'all remember Giri Govardhan? Who is Giri Govardhan? Who didn't know the previous time and now you know? Who is Giri Govardhan? Do you all remember? Yeah, the rock from the hill that the Lord lifted. Correct. This is Giri Govardhan. Okay. And I think this is their Utsava deity, Sri Sri Radha Giridhari. Okay, let's join me to offer prayers to the spiritual teachers. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Join me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gita Mahatmya, Subhashini Mataji.
A person who knows nothing about learning and teaching the Gita is a failure in the duty of the human form of life.
Okay, that's pretty heavy. Thank you, Mataji. So you are all a success because you all are here learning. So we are very fortunate. Okay, so what are we doing today? Gee, macam in classroom. What are we doing today, children, like that? What are we doing today? What is something new today? Chapter 13, why is it new or why is it something noteworthy? What about today? Okay, chapter 13, okay, nature, enjoy, and consciousness, okay. What about it? What is the change that we are going through today? Did anybody have sandwich today? Burger? Okay, Jnana Yoga or technical, okay. Do you all remember the burger that I served you in the beginning of the course? The virtual burger and or sandwich. No. Other way around, Dasaradan Prabhu. Oh, Prasanna Mataji, you are here. I thought you're busy. Bhakti through knowledge. Through work is section. Where did we learn Bhakti through work? Yeah, Bhakti through work is the first section, chapter 1 to 6. 7 to 12 is the Bhakti. And then 13 to 18 is Jnana Yoga, achieving Bhakti through knowledge. So we are entering the Jnana Yoga segment. Do you all remember this? Okay, ring a bell. Correct. Detachment from material world. Okay, so actually this detachment is from the beginning, right? Detachment from fruity world, detachment from material world. Okay. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay. Okay, so we call this as Jnana Yoga section. Okay, but you all know the entire Bhagavad Gita is about Bhakti. The first 6 chapters is discussing a discussion on how to achieve Bhakti through one's work. How you're going to elevate ourselves to Bhakti on the Bhakti ladder, a yoga ladder to Bhakti through work. So we had Karma Yoga, the Sakama Yoga, Niskama Karma Yoga, all that. And then the last 6th chapter will be achieving Bhakti through knowledge. And the middle 6th chapter is about Bhakti. Okay, so I hope you all remember this. Okay. Right, so Jnana Yoga, what is so important about Jnana Yoga? So Jnana Yoga is used in assisting our detachment from Maya. Having this knowledge will assist us to detach ourselves from this material nature. So from the beginning, you have seen detachment, detachment, detachment. Okay, so how exactly we do this? So this is the technicality that we are learning here. Krishna is teaching us. Okay, so when we utilize this knowledge, then we can attain devotion as it becomes part of Bhakti. All right. Now, without the touch of Bhakti, both the Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, they are not meaningful. Okay, this is why the Bhakti comes in between. You give the Karma first, and then the Bhakti first, and then finally the Jnana. So you need to hold these two together. The Bhakti has to have this work yoga, Karma Yoga, and Jnana Yoga together. Okay, that's why it makes the sandwich full. Okay, it has to hold it together. And of course, eventually, through the practice of the detachment, once you detach from something, what do you do next? Or what do you simultaneously encourage or advise to do? You're detaching from Maya. Detachment means no connection, disconnection. What do you must do simultaneously? Can we sit still? Can we just think that, okay, I'm done, detached from Maya? What do you think? Put all your knowledge that you learned from chapter 1 to chapter 12. Okay, we're getting some answers. Okay. Anyone else? What do you think? Okay, liberation could be the end result. Okay, end result. So when you detach from something, you have to attach to something else, yes? And that is, let's see, what's attachment? Attachment to Krishna. So if you don't want this, you have to that. You don't want darkness, you want brightness. Yeah. Okay. So this is the reason why the discussion of Bhakti comes in the middle, because it has to remain in contact with both karma and jnana, thus give them the value. Okay. Okay, so you use this knowledge. First you detach, and then you attach to Krishna, and then you use this knowledge to attain devotion. You have to have knowledge, right? Okay, do you all remember the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita? Is there anybody still not familiar about these 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita? So let's not have the answers first from those who already know. What I want to know is there anybody still not sure what are the 5 topics we are covering in Bhagavad Gita? Please let me know, privately or generally. Okay, you don't have to be shy. So, still, if you want to privately message me, also can. That you don't know what are the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita. So I'm going to run through one last time here. Is there anybody who don't know? So everybody knows? Can I take that everybody knows? Oh, 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita. 5 topics. For example, the other day I asked a question to you. I give you an example situation. If somebody asks you, oh, you have 15 finished your 18 days of Bhagavad Gita basic course. So can you tell me what are the topics covered in Bhagavad Gita? How do you actually tell them in one line, one sentence? You can't be possibly giving them 18 crash course on 18 chapters, isn't it? In, let's say, 1 minute. What would you say? What would you say, Darshini Mataji or Somasundra Prabhu? Okay, lagi satu. Okay, can we have it in English? Okay, all right. So we will run through one more time. Okay, is there anybody else don't know yet or not clear, or you don't know all of it, you only know some of it? Okay, Somasundra Prabhu, come on, some more. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go. Yeah. What did we learn in chapter 2? That's how we can recall. Okay. Okay, like this. I show you this chart. Okay. In chapter 2, we learn about Jiva. Yes, we are not the body, we are the soul. And then we also know there is another soul, which is the super soul or Ishvara. Okay. So it's easy to remember like this, Jiva and Ishvara. So you already covered 2 topics of Bhagavad Gita. Number 3, chapter 3 and chapter 5 covered karma, work, how to work. Okay, what do you do with the result? Okay, that is work, karma, activity. So you already know soul, super soul, or living entity, God, activity. This is in a layman term we want to tell people because they may not understand what is Jiva, Ishvara, karma, they don't know. Or it's very easy for you to tell a non-Indian as well. Hey, what is this Bhagavad Gita about? Like Quran, they have certain substance. Bible, they have certain substance. So Bhagavad Gita is our scripture. Yes, so you should be able to tell at least what is the content of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so Jiva, Ishvara, Karma, okay, living entity, God, activity. And then we saw how Arjuna asked question to Krishna, who are you? Why are you here? What is your mission? Then Krishna said, I am time. So we learn about time, Kala, okay, Krishna's form as Kala. And then we have Prakriti, which is the material nature. So all these 4 we are already covered. And today, or the next few chapters, we are going to see Prakriti, material nature. This is also one of, Krishna has so many energies. So this is one of his energy. Okay. Remember how he said, I'm the source of all material and spiritual world. Okay. With that, we are entering chapter 13. Okay, so I've already explained why the Jnana Yoga comes at the end. Okay, so this is to hold this karma and Jnana. Bhakti is the essence. It's holding the karma and Jnana together. So that is why the connection. And okay, already summarized what are all the chapters. What is this? One who understands the difference between body, soul, and super soul, beyond them, both attains liberation from this material world. So this is how technically liberate ourselves from material world. Okay, so before moving on, look at this place. Look at this image, yeah. What can you see here on the left? Can you all see what's here? Laptop, I think it will be clear. If you have phone, then probably it will be a bit difficult. Okay, so this chapter 13 is about learning our body. Okay, this is information, the detailed information you can find from Sariraka Upanishad. Okay, Sarira means body. So if you want to have more, you want to know more details, then you have to go back to the Upanishad to understand. So Bhagavad Gita is the essence. Okay, so here Krishna will tell a few things in this chapter. So what are we going to cover is this. Different methods of fruitive activities, cultivation of knowledge, and how to discharge the devotion service. So all this Krishna is going to explain. This chapter will begin with question from Arjuna 13.1.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, okay.
Okay. Arjuna said, "Oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, nature, Purusa the enjoyer, and the field and the knower of the field, and of knowledge and the object of knowledge."
Okay, very good. So Arjuna posted 6 questions. Can I have the question number 1? What he wants to know? What is the first thing that he wants to know? So please take down, because that's how the flow of this chapter will not follow the flow of Arjuna's question. Okay, for the benefit of this course, the topics are covered in a different sequence. So I want you to know what are we going to cover today. Number 1 is Prakriti. Okay, very good. Okay, next. What is the next thing that he wants to know? Number 2. What is number 2? Yes, Purusha means enjoyer. Okay. Number 3. That's number 3, the field. Number 4 is the, what is number 4? Knower of the field. So you have field and you want to know who is the knower or the owner, right? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5. Is it correct, everyone? Number 5 is knowledge. Finally, number 6. Okay, Asarada Prabhu, very good. All right, object of knowledge. Okay, a little bit of explanation here, yeah. So Arjuna is a student. All right. Okay, so the version of the Bhagavad Gita that we have is in the form of question and answers, the conversation. Okay, the duty of a student is to put question to the teacher, right? Okay, so these are the questions he's asking. Let's move on. A knowledge and object of knowledge. Okay, let's go again. What is the first question? Except Dasaradan Prabhu. What is the first question? Shall I call name? Darshini Mataji. What was the first question? Ganesha Prabhu. Number 1 is Prakriti. Very good. What is number 2? Just a couple of minutes ago. Okay, very good. Nature, enjoy. So can you see this one, this 2, we're going to cover later. Okay, that's why it's coming at the bottom. All right, number 3. This one we will cover later. Oh, very good. Yes, feel. After that, sekejap lah, sekejap. Feel, and then the knower of the field. Okay. Okay, so you remember like this, yeah? There is a nature and there is an enjoyer of the nature. There is a field and there is a knower of the field. Okay. After that, the interaction between these 2, the field and the knower, is called knowledge. Yes, that's number 5. Okay. And there is a goal of the knowledge, which is the Object of knowledge. Okay. So generally, you can see this chapter 13 is divided into these 3 segments. So we will cover 3, 4, 5. Means question 3, question 4, question 5 first. And then we will cover question 6. And then only Krishna, we will cover 1 and 2. Okay. So let's go in. Okay, so these are the Sanskrit terms, yeah. Okay, Neyam. Kshetra. If you remember Kshetra, Kurukshetra, battlefield. Okay. Jnana, of course, you know, knowledge. Kshetra, Jnan, knower of the field. Kshetra means field. Jnan means knower. Knower of the field. Kshetra, Jnan. Neyam, object of knowledge. Okay, these 2 all you know already. Okay, so now Krishna answers this question first. What is field? Who is the knower? What is knowledge? Okay, so we start, yeah. 13.2. Whose turn? Somasundram Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Sorry, Mataji. Tulasi Mataji, your number is 13.20, yeah? Because the access
20.
recognize the 0. So yours is
Okay,
13.20.
okay.
Sorry, Mataji.
Okay, sure.
Somasundram Prabhu, 3.2.
Yes,
13.
Mataji. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "This body, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field."
Okay.
O scion of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so question. What is the field? We are now covering question 3 and 4. Yes? Okay, so what is field? Yes, it's body. So you have your body. Right. Okay, so slow, huh? This body is the field. And one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. Okay, now, before we move on, do you know pain that I feel? Would you know what pain I go through? Oh, I'm very good in masking, Prabhu. Mataji, I can smile. You wouldn't know I'm in pain. I'm very good at that. Yeah, I wouldn't know what pain you go through. So which means your body's situation or condition, only you know. You are the knower of your body. I know I am the knower of my body. But there is a knower of all bodies. Who is that? Why? Why? What access he has to us? What else? Okay, how does he live? Come on, you have to use the right tool. You're a Gita Gyan students, you know? Okay, come on, some more. Some more. Somebody got the answer correct, but I want more. I want the Sanskrit word as well. Yeah, how is he in us? In what form? As what? Come on, use the right terms. We are spirit soul, and he is, yes, super soul, Paramatma. Okay, he's residing in our heart. Therefore, he is also the knower, but he is the knower in all bodies. So like this, we have feel is one, body, okay? But the knower are 2, okay? One who knows this body and one who knows all the bodies. So got 2 knowers, yeah? Okay, follow on? Okay, and understanding this fact, the interaction between the body, knower, and the knower 1 and knower 2, is what we call knowledge. Okay, right. Here, did you notice last time I mentioned sometimes Krishna will use this kind of lines? That is my opinion. I consider this to be the best. Okay, so I will tell why. Next time you see this line, I will explain why Krishna used this. That is my opinion. Okay, so the field, yeah, let's explain a bit. Now the field, like a farmer, he knows his field, his plot. All right, the other plot, another person is the owner, cultivating another person, cultivate by another farmer. Okay, sometimes this field, very nice, very fertile, it gives you very nice crop. Sometimes that field, if it's not maintained well, it might not give a nice crop. So how you grow, what you grow, that's what you harvest. Okay, if you don't put so much effort, you don't get so much to harvest. All right, so like this, all living entities have different bodies. Some are strong, some are handsome, some are not. Okay, some are in human body, some are in animal form of body. Okay, so that's field and that's knower. Okay, us knowing our own body. And there is Krishna as Paramatma, knower of all the bodies. Understanding this is the knowledge. Okay. Okay, so this is the summary. Can you remember, right? Okay, so I'm giving you an illustration. Look at this example. Tenants and landlords. Okay, for example, you are renting an apartment. Okay, how many property that you would have knowledge about? Yeah, only one, the one that you are paying. Okay, who knows about all the properties in that building? The landlord. Yeah, the developer or the landlord. So this is the example. Okay, so you only know your own pain and pleasures. We don't know the pain and pleasures in other bodies. Okay, right? So you don't, you know only your pain. You don't know my pain. But as Krishna, as super soul in all living entities, he knows about everyone. Okay, so this is the example, yeah. The tenant only knows about his apartment, but then landlord, who's the owner of the entire building, knows about all the properties. Okay, all right. Another example is this. Okay, now a farmer only knows about his land. But the entire country, the land in the entire country, who is the knower? Who is the knower of the land in the entire country? Or knower of all the lands, comparative to farmer? Who would have possibly given a plot of the land to the farmer? Okay. Okay, okay. Yes, yes. Almost there. Yeah, okay. So in a very traditional example, it is the king, yeah? The king knows all the lands, authorities. Yeah, he is the authority. He is the one giving the land to the farmer. Okay, so the farmer gets the land from the king, and because the king owns the land. And the king knows each and every piece of land. Okay, but the farmer only knows about his land. All right, so this way we are able to explain the relationship between the two knowers in the body. So it may appear like very simple, right? You might be thinking why Mataji is repeating this again and again. Okay, so that you'll be able to understand and explain to others as well. Okay, one is super soul, one is his jiva atma. Okay, so there is a story. Yeah, this is a story of Kanakadas. There is a movie after this person. There is a movie. I don't know what is the title of the movie, but this person's name is Kanakadas. And I think it's a Kannada movie. I'm not sure it's a Kannada or Telugu. I don't know. Okay, so this is the story to illustrate how this particular person sees God in everything. Okay, sees God in everything. Okay, so one day, this Kanaka, he has a guru. Okay, so that is his particular ashram. He is staying with his friends, classmates. So he was cooking. So he was making chapati. All right, when he was cooking, try to focus here, yeah, on Zoom. Okay, when he was cooking, a street dog came into his house and then it picked up a roti. Okay, and when he turned, the dog got shocked. All right, he got frightened and it dropped the bread, the chapati, okay, the roti. So before he could even say anything, the dog ran away from the house. It ran out and he went chasing after the dog. So you must be wondering why he chased, because the dog already dropped the roti. Okay. All right. Next. So the villagers saw that he actually picked up the roti that the dog dropped. All right. And he ran after the dog. Okay. Wanted to give it to the dog. Okay, Kanaka ran after the dog while the people on the street watched the strange sight. So he was calling the dog, come back and take this. So the villagers asked him, why did you run after the dog, Kanaka? Then the Kanaka said, God came to my house and went away without accepting the roti. He said like that. So they all laughed at him. Ha ha, Kanaka calls a dog God. He is mad. All right. Now, the guru realized that Kanaka is a very realized person, that he was able to see God in everyone. He did not distinguish it's a dog, it's not a human. Okay, he did not do this. All right, so he was seeing people, he's seeing all the living entities with what vision? So now we bring in the chapter 4. Yes, is it chapter 4? Equal vision. Right, do you all remember equal vision? The Pandita Samadarshinaha, he sees everyone as equal vision. So his name, this guru's name is Vyasa Tirtha. Vyasa Tirtha understood. He says, Kanaka sees God everywhere and in everything. He is the true worshipper. So he understood. Okay, but he wants to show the glory of Kanaka Das to all his other students. So what did he do? Okay, so what happened is Kanaka became a favorite student of the Vyasa Tirtha. Kanaka became the favorite disciple of Vyasa Tirtha. The other disciples soon became jealous of him. Okay, Kanaka seemingly is not an educated person. All right, so this earned envy from the classmates. He doesn't know the scriptures. He is of low birth, a shepherd, yet he is our master's favorite. Okay, now all this interaction came to the knowledge of the guru. He's aware what is happening. So he called them. He called them, wanted to teach them a lesson. There was a game. Okay, he gave them each a banana. Okay, and he thought, okay, I should show them the difference between Kanaka and the others. So he told them, he gave the banana to all of them and he said, go to some secluded spot and eat this banana unobserved by anyone. You have to find a place where there is nobody else there and you have to eat it. Okay, so the disciples, each of them wanted to show that they are the best. So they ran everywhere. His disciple ran in different directions. So one person climbed the tree and he ate there. Another person hide in the hay and ate. And like this, another person hide under water and ate. So like this, they all had their own way of eating without being observed by anyone. So they all came back after eating, but only Kanaka came back with the banana. Of course, the game included Kanaka as well. All right, we have obeyed your order, master. Good, but where is Kanaka? Come forward, Kanaka. Then he saw the Kanaka is still holding the banana. Why haven't you eaten the banana yet? How can I eat the banana unobserved by God? He is everywhere. Okay, so this way, the Vyasa Tirtha has actually glorified Kanaka, that he is the true disciple, that he is able to see God in everything, in everywhere. You see, for Kanaka, God is not just a name to be invoked in prayer. So not only morning, evening thing, no, to invoke God in prayers. He is real and is always present. This is called God consciousness. You're conscious of God all the time, not only morning and evening. Okay, all the time. Okay, this is the temple, the temple that is existing. So apparently in the beginning, Kanakadas was not allowed in the temple because he was from low birth. All right, what he always does is he'll stand behind the temple and he will sing glories. So I think some of the songs are in YouTube also. He will sing. All right, and he sang so much with intense devotion that there's actually the temple started to crack, the wall behind started to crack, and the Lord actually turned to see Kanaka. Okay, because Kanaka was singing from the back. All right, this temple is in Udupi. Okay. Right, this is the temple. Lord Krishna broke the wall behind the temple in Udupi. And then he turned himself and appeared before Kanaka so that Kanaka could have a darshan of the Lord. So even until now, you can only take darshan through this. The crack has been made into a small window here, so you have to take darshan from this place. Okay. Okay. So we have quite a number of Bhakti Sastri students. We have Kritika, Vasuki Mataji, Pushpalata Mataji, and Kumuda Mataji. So 4 students from our group going for Bhakti Sastri. So we wish them all the best. Okay. All right. Okay, that's about it. Yeah, this Udupi temple. Okay, so we are done with knower, feel, and the knower. Okay, now we want to learn more about feel, what our body is made of. Okay, so we are entering some science subject today. I'm not a science teacher, but Krishna gives us the science. So we will learn about the 24 elements of our body. So who knows, Bhagavad Gita has science subject inside here. Okay. All right, can we have somebody to read this? 0.6 to 0.7. Hello, Mataji.
Mataji, I'm here.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hi, Krishna Mataji. The 5 great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, and the mind, the 5 sense objects: desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, and convictions. All these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So if you sum up all these, right, you will get 24 elements. So you have 5 great elements. What are the 5 great elements? The Pancha Mahabhuta, Panchabhuta, right? Okay, we will see that later. Okay, and then we have 5 sense objects. Okay, you can total up. I'll use your calculator. You can total up. Okay, 5 great elements, 5 sense objects, 10 senses plus the mind. So you have 11 here, and then you have false ego, intelligence, and unmanifested. Okay. Next, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life, symptoms, and convictions. So you sum up all these, you get 24. And these 24 elements is the activity that's happening on our body and the interactions. All right, these are all interactions. Okay, these are all the elements on our body. Okay. One who desires to know the 24 elements detail along with the introduction should study the philosophy in more detail. So I think this should be in the Sarvaka Upanishad. Okay. 5 great elements. Okay. Yeah, so we are learning about the field and the knower of the field. Okay, so we put this in perspective here in the table form. We have 5 great elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. These are all y'all familiar, right? Okay, is this a first time some of you are seeing these 5 elements? Can I see if you're seeing this for the first time? 5 great elements, Panchabhuta. It's very common, right? This one. So our body, our gross body, right? It's made of all these 5. So how technically it's made of this? This one I covered in level 2, so it's too much to put in level 1. Okay. And then we have 5 knowledge acquiring senses, which means what do you use to get knowledge? When you use your eye, you can see colors, shapes, forms, you see that. When you use your ear, what do you perceive? You perceive sound, yes? And then nose, smell, right? Tongue, taste. Oh, this fruit tastes this food tastes like this. So this is knowledge. You know, lime tastes sour, so you know that you have the knowledge of the lime. Sugar is sweet, so you have the knowledge of sugar, the sweetness. So this is how knowledge acquiring senses give you knowledge. Skin, hot, cold, everything. Okay. Next, 5 working senses. Working, your voice, you speak. All right. Legs, you walk. Hands, move around. Anus, genitals for secretion. Okay. And then you have 5 sense objects. Eyes, ear, form, sound, smell, taste, touch. Okay, subtle body. This is it might be something new for some of you. So we have soul, right? The basic element of our body, right? And the soul is covered by a 3-layer thing that is called subtle body. So the subtle body is comprised of the 3 elements, which is mind, intelligence, and false ego. Okay, false ego means the perspective that we have that we are the doer, we are separate from God. So that is false ego. True ego means we are part and parcel of God. So this is a difference here. Usually the word ego is loosely used as a person who is arrogant or stubborn or self-centric. Okay, so actually the real meaning of ego is, true ego is that we are spirit soul and we are part and parcel of God. That is the true ego. And we are not the doer. The God is the doer. But when you say false ego, means we are the doer, right? Okay, so this is the meaning. So this false ego actually is covered in detail in level 3. So, and then finally, we have unmanifested form of 3 modes of material nature, which we will not cover in this chapter. We will cover in chapter 14. Okay, after this. Okay, so these are the components of the fields of activities. And we have interaction of gross body like desire, hatred, happiness, distress. So this is our interaction. Okay, the interaction of subtle body is the living symptoms that we feel. We are conscious or unconscious. So this is the interaction of the subtle body. You all can understand, right? The interaction of the gross body is where you feel pain, where you feel distress, where you feel sad, anxiety, happiness. These are all the interaction of gross body, right? And we have subtle body. The interaction of subtle body is about your consciousness, okay? And convictions, okay? This is also interaction of subtle body. Okay, so this is the basis. I think it's in chapter 5. Just give me a minute. You can open your 13.5. Okay, never mind. Okay, we proceed, yeah. So Krishna has covered 3, 4, and 5 field and knower of the field. Understanding this is the knowledge. Oh yeah, okay. Now the body will also go through 6 changes. It takes birth, it grows, it stays for some time, it produces some byproducts, you know, it breeds, right, children, it decay, and eventually it will die. So this is the 6th transformation of the body. So the soul doesn't go through this. 13.6 purport. Yeah, Mataji, can you help to read, Mataji?
Okay, wait, Mataji, I have to go to the page. Mataji, you can hear me?
Yes, 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 yes. Maybe the particular few lines only.
You want me to list all the 24 elements?
Oh, I think, hold on, Mataji, I think I have that.
Oh, that's in the book.
Okay, never mind, Mataji. I think we have it here. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. Okay, so can we go through this? What are the 5 gross elements? Let's have it all in one go. Who can give me all at one go? Okay, I wait. So the gross elements are those that make up our gross body. Okay, good. So we have, okay, we have earth, water, fire, and ether. Next, how do we acquire knowledge? We use our senses to acquire knowledge. What are those 5 knowledge acquiring senses? Getting very technical, huh? You must be wondering, why are we learning this now? So, what are those 5 knowledge acquiring senses? Remember, I told you this is about learning about ourselves. There is a reason why Krishna decided to put this here. Okay, some more, some more. Okay, good. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Okay, very good. What is next? How do we work? How does our body work? That is 5 working senses. Right? Some more? Mataji, I think you haven't changed the direct message. You can put it to everyone. Hey, only one person answered directly to me. The rest? Now coming. Yes. So you're using your voice, you're using your hands, legs, and genitals. Okay, very good. Okay, then we have 5 sense objects. What is the object of the senses? What are we enjoying? What are we enjoying? What is the object? What is the goal of our senses? So if you have eyes, what is your goal of your sense? Yeah, the object of my eyes means what? Sense object. So don't get confused. Acquiring sense, knowledge, acquiring senses and sense objects. What is the enjoyment for the eyes? You can see like that. 5 sense objects. Anyone else? Okay, that's a very nice way to put it. Logishwari Mataji, is this your first time Gita Gyan or you have attended before? Good, this is your revision. Very good, Mataji. Okay, so I opened the first time. Oh, very good, Mataji. Okay, form eyes, sound ears, smell nose, taste tongue, touch skin. Okay. Do you all remember what is the next thing? So all these things that we can see, what is going to come up next? What could be here? Subtle body, yes, very good, Mataji. What is it made of? This part is pretty important, you know. I'll tell you why later. You're understanding your body. When we die, right? When we die, we say that the soul goes there, soul goes here, right? Actually, the soul, initially, it will have a carrier. Okay, of course, it sheds this gross body, the one that we see, it sheds off. But as it goes on, it takes along the subtle body first. Okay, so that's why we want to know what is it made of. Mind, intelligence, and false ego. This is where all the impressions of our life is imprinted here. Okay, so we will learn more on this, yeah. And then this is the final one, unmanifested stage of three modes. Okay, so actually the way the body is created from here, due to the interaction of the soul with these three modes, it acquires this, and then this, and with the gross body, the human body is made, the gross body is made. Okay, so this is, we have subtle body and we have gross body. Okay, and these are all called 24 field of activities. Okay, so the 5 element is covered in chapter 13.6 to 7. Okay. And then 0.6 to 7 also covers this. Okay, this is the subtle body. Okay. All right, so as I mentioned, at the end of life, we leave the gross body and go to the, our subtle body will remain, okay, covering the soul. All right, and this subtle body, it carries our consciousness to the next life. It assumes another gross body. Okay, so all the impressions are there, our nature. If we have been a very passionate person in our previous life, let's say we had a lion body. So in the human life, you probably will have a very passionate character, always angry, always aggressive, like that. So previously, if you were a cow, then you will have a very sattvic character. Okay, previously, if you were a monkey, then we have a very mischievous character. So these are portal, the previous form we would have had before we had human body. Okay, so like that, there are portal going down to the animal life. So we may become dog or tortoise or something, all right, based on our characteristic that we develop in our current life. Okay, and how the subtle body carries our consciousness, if you can imagine how the air, the breeze carries the aroma of flowers from garden to our house, or in the air, like that. So if the air goes through a pile of garbage, then you will have very stinky smell, very foul smell. But if the breeze goes through some nice beautiful garden, then you'll have very nice smell. So that's how the subtle body carries our consciousness to our subsequent life. Okay, so you can get that, you can imagine the thing, right? Okay, this is again, so you have gross body, you have subtle body, and this is soul. So this covers this, and this covers the entire thing. Okay, so I think this is okay, we can skip. Oh, this is also another illustration. The soul is here, it is covered by mind, intelligence, false ego, and the entire body is made of earth, air, water, fire, ether. Okay. So Krishna has covered question 3, 4, 5. So basically what we can understand from the question 3, 4, 5 is that the body is a material field. It's gross, it's destructible. Okay, and then we have subtle body. So it is mentioned that before the soul goes back to the place where its origin from, it has to be in the original form of soul. So even there is a subtle body covering namely the mind, intelligence, false ego, it has to shed these 3 items as well. Only when it purified of these 3 elements, the soul can go back to God. Okay, so soul cannot go like that. It has to be purified. So this is the effort that we are doing now. We are purifying our senses, and then we have to purify our subtle body as well. Okay, so from 13 to 17, Krishna is going to the second segment here. What is the object of knowledge? So he will be explaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 verses, some things about the supreme or super soul. Okay, let's see how much time we have. Okay, we don't have time to read all these verses, so we're just going to jump to 13.80, where he will reveal who is this person. What is the object of knowledge? Okay, 13.18. Hey, we don't have 13.18 assigned. So can we have somebody to read? I put this as extra actually. That's why it's not in the list. Jay Mataji.
Hi, Mataji. Ken. He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge, and he is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. So let's have a quick recap. You already know what is feel. You know what is knower 1 and knower 2, and the interaction between these 2 or 3 is the knowledge. All right. And now Krishna is giving the object of the knowledge. Now the object of the knowledge, Krishna is giving the description of this super soul, because we are talking about the other person in the body, right? The other knower who is Paramatma or super soul. Now he's describing the characteristics of super soul, and this characteristic is described right from chapter 13, so text 15. 15, 16, 17, now it's 18. He has actually 14 also, he said, everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the super soul exists, pervading everything. Then he says super soul is the original source of all senses. Like this, he went on up to 17. And then here is the conclusion where he says, he is the source of light. He is beyond the darkness. He is unmanifested. Okay, sorry, he is situated in everyone's heart. This is description of Paramatma. Okay, he's saying this Nayam, the object of the knowledge, is the super soul. Hriddhi Sarvasya means, Hriddhi means heart. Sarvasya means residing. Okay, so he's within the heart of all. And then he's revealing some more. 19. Text
Hare
19.
Krishna Mataji.
Oh.
Translation, thus the field of activities, the body, knowledge and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So again, the field means the body. Knowledge means to know the field of activities and the knower of the field. So I'm repeating this because you have to remember this, okay? Now, the knower of the field are 2, the soul and the super soul. Okay, so this knowledge is very technical. Okay, it may appear like easy, but then probably tomorrow you wouldn't remember it. Okay, hopefully you remember. Now, Krishna says this can be understood easily by my devotees. Okay, so he's saying this way, okay? Okay, why and how the devotee can understand is because after hearing this, we are engaging our senses in the service to serve his senses. So if you do not put this in practice, so when you do service, you always think like, okay, this body is meant to serve Krishna. We are not the doer. Okay, he is the doer and he knows what's happening everywhere. So if you have this kind of consciousness and then you practice it, it's easy to understand it. Okay, if a lot of time you may have realized that you can understand certain theory, but if you do not practice it, you will forget. All right, like how many of you are using your whatever you learn in degree in your working life? Yeah, so it's like that, right? Practice what we have learned. Okay, so it's very complex or technical. Actually, because we are doing a summary version, so you might think, okay, I think this is easy like that. But if you read the entire chapter, it's not, right? So we are just giving the prominent ones. Okay, it's easily understood by devotees. So this is the science of Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, Neyam. Okay. All right, so let's, okay, this is 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and 6 summarize. So Krishna is a very good teacher. He always likes to summarize, okay, to make things easy for us. Okay, so take a look at this again. He already mentioned the field, knowledge, the knower. Okay, and he said the devotee can understand that easily. Okay, so this is what he has covered. Now we are entering this. These are the first two questions that Arjuna asked, but for this course, they have put at the end. Okay, because we want to continue with the chapter 14. Okay, text 20. Tulsi Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. The translation: material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. They are transformations, and the modes of the matters are product of the material nature.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Now, material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Why? Okay, material nature has always been there. The living entities, which is the soul, they always have be present eternally. They do not take birth, they don't die. They are eternal. However, what happens to them is a transformation. They change form, shape, colors, types of body. Okay, it's like you take a bunch of a bulk of sand, like the sand you make castle, right? Sand castle at the beach. You make some form. After that, you destroy it, and then you make something else, and then you destroy it. So you build something. After some time, you break it apart. So these are the transformation. But the sand has always been there on the beach. So this is why Krishna is saying material nature and living entities are beginningless. But the transformation, the modes, are products of material nature. Okay, this one we will see also. Now the material nature has taken different forms. For example, the 5 gross elements. Okay, they come in a different form and later they change. Okay, but the living entities, they don't change. They take different bodies, different place, but they're always the same soul. Okay, all right. Yeah, this is the point, yeah, for us material nature. Okay, let's move on. Text 22. Okay, we also did not assign text 22. Can we have somebody to read? Sasireka Mataji, are you here?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Krishna Mataji. Okay, Mataji. Translation.
The living entity in material nature thus follows the way of life, enjoying the 3 modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus,
he meets
among various species.
Okay. Okay, so earlier Krishna has already, thank you, Mataji. So earlier Krishna answered about material nature, this question 1, yeah. And then this is about what Krishna is answering now. Which question? What did Arjuna ask? What did Arjuna ask in his question? He asked who is the enjoyer, isn't it? All right. Now Krishna is answering the living entity is the enjoyer. It is enjoying the material nature. How is it enjoying? It is enjoying under the 3 modes of material nature. So these 3 modes we will cover in chapter 14. And because for a long time, our soul has been in contact with this material nature, all the impressions are print upon our subtle body. And as we die, the subtle body takes our soul to another body. The impressions follow there. And this is how we take birth based on the reactions or credits or reaction that we have accumulated. And that way, or accordingly, we take birth among various species. Okay? Can understand the flow? The enjoyer is us, the living entity, because we are enjoying the material nature. Okay, but there are also 2 enjoyers, just like the knower. Okay, we will see that also, yeah. So this explains The transmigration. Why we are transmigrating? Because we've been enjoying the material nature. Either we are exploiting it, we are using it, and then we are creating some actions and reactions. And this is the binding factor to different bodies. We associate with this material nature under the influence of three modes. Okay, thus we have created the reactions, and that's how we transmigrate to the next bodies, and we take birth among various species. Okay, so this is a problem here, right? That is a problem here. Our association with material nature is actually dictating how are we going to be in our next life. Now, how to rise above these three modes? That we have to do through hearing, acquiring knowledge. This is the only savior. Okay, only this can break this chain. Okay, so we have to move on. This is the living entity. We are the living entity, yeah. We are enjoying, all right. And because we have been associating with the material nature for a long time, we meet different good and evil among species, among various species. Yet, remember, two knower, therefore two enjoyer. We are enjoying this material nature. Now, who is the other enjoyer? Text 23. Oh, Vasuki Mataji is not here. Anybody else? Kausalya Mataji?
I'll read, Mataji.
Ranjini Mataji?
Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the supersoul.
Yeah, so here Krishna is declaring there is another enjoyer and he is the supersoul. So this is another evidence that Krishna is saying there are two souls. One is spirit soul and one is super soul. Remember in chapter 10, when Krishna was describing all the chief in the broad categories, among the living entities in the heart, I am the super soul. So like this, he's establishing the truth that there are two souls in our body. You know why I'm saying this? Because when a yogi does dhyana, right, what his goal is, he wants to understand, he wants to realize the self within him. And when he realizes there is the Lord inside the heart, he thinks he is the Lord. I can become God. But actually, he doesn't know that he is spirit soul and there is another soul in the heart. And these two cannot become one. You cannot merge. Just like in a green tree, okay, you have a green tree and then a green parrot flies in. Okay, so from far, it will look like it's green. You can't see the parrot, but actually the parrot always remain a parrot. The parrot cannot become the green tree. Okay, so you can imagine this example. On this tree, there are two parrots. That's one example, meaning that the tree cannot merge with parrot. So we cannot merge with God. We always maintain our individual identity. All right, so in this case here, this example, this is a living entity here. Okay, this living entity, there's a man here, he's doing something very bad, and then the Lord is actually watching. Okay, because us, we have free will. We have a very minute, very small amount of free will, which means God does not force us to do something. Oh, you have to do this, you cannot do that. He doesn't do like that to us. He gives us a free will where we can choose what we want to do. All right, but he is overseeing it and he's permitting it because he's just watching what we are doing, taking into account what we are doing. Okay, so he is a transcendental enjoyer staying in our heart next to the ordinary enjoyer. We are the enjoyer, right? So he's watching and he is the supreme proprietor. Okay, the real enjoyer is the supreme enjoyer, the Lord, the supreme Lord. And he is known as the super soul. So like this, Krishna will explain nicely who is the super soul, what are the characteristics, what does he do? Okay, so here Krishna answered all these questions. What is nature? Who is enjoyer? Oh, we have come to the end, I think. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so text 25, we have a couple more to go. Can we have somebody to read?
I'll read, Mataji. Some perceive the supersoul within themselves through meditation, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without fruitive desires.
Okay, thanks, Mataji. So, can somebody tell me what does Krishna say here? Some perceive the supersoul within themselves through meditation. What yoga is this? There are three ways to understand. Yogi is trying to understand God. What method is this? What is the first method Krishna is saying here? Somasundara Prabhu, want to try? What are the ways to understand God? Dhyana yoga, very good. What is the next one? What is the next yoga to understand God? According to Krishna in this verse here. Second one. Look at the verse.
Jnana.
Yes, jnana. What is the third one?
You have to open that.
Yeah, come on.
Karma.
Yes. Three ways to understand God. Dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, karma yoga. Okay. So, yes. Okay. So, three ways, yeah?
That is karma.
Okay, so Krishna is giving a comfort here, because not everyone can achieve God. If you have to go through meditation, you have to go through knowledge, you have to work without fruitive desires. Okay, it may be not possible for a lot of people. So therefore, he's giving this alternative. Text 26. Krishna is so kind. Look at how easy he makes our life. Venu Kumar Prabhu also not available. Kirosha Mataji.
Hi, Mataji. I can read. Kausalya here.
Yeah, Mataji can.
Yeah, sorry. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. So, if you can't meditate, you can't pursue Sankhya Yoga, you can't do work and detach from fruitive result, and you can't do what else? Jnana Yoga. It's so difficult. I'm not an academic person. I cannot remember. Fine. Krishna said, just hear. Just start hearing about me from people. Okay, and you can transcend the path of birth and death. See, Krishna gives everything, all the technicalities he'll give, but still he gives comfort. Okay, this is not necessary. I have an easier way for you. Okay, but some people are very academic. They want to learn certainty. They love to learn technicalities. So they are very academic, right? Just academic. So they want to go that way. It's also fine, but not everybody can do that. So Krishna is very kind. God is very kind to everybody. So he gives opportunity to everyone. Okay. But it's also very important as a devotee to understand blind and deaf from, okay, number one, we need to understand that this is definitely because of their past reaction. That means they have been pretty sinful in the past, that they have been not blessed with blind eyesight and hearing. So for this kind of people, to show mercy, what we can do is we can give them prasadam. We can get them to eat. So everybody can eat. They can do that. And if they can engage their senses like hands and legs, they can do service for Krishna. So it's very dynamic. Krishna consciousness is very dynamic. Anybody can do anything. Okay. So I don't know how, if blind and deaf, they can use Braille or not. I'm not very sure. So it may take some time. It may take some time. You can get them to do service and they can eat prasadam. Okay, that's also purifying. You have to start somewhere. And actually in chapter 2, there is a verse where Krishna said, There is no loss or diminution in this path. Even the smallest advancement can save one from greatest type of fear. Shamala Mataji, are you able to quickly look up the verse? I forgot what verse is that. Neha Bikramana Sustiya, is it? I think that one. So that one gives us comfort that even very little service you do, Krishna remembers. And then when you die and you come back, you're going to start from that. So let's say your service stops at 5%. Okay, so when you die and you come back, you're going to continue with 6%. So you're not going to zero rise, just like our material opulence. When you die, everything zero rise, right? So in spiritual life, it's not like that. It continues. Yeah, very good question, Prabhu. Thank you. Okay, so okay, what else? Okay, now this is the power of hearing. Hearing about Krishna from others. Okay. Okay, we don't have time to go through the story now. I'll keep this for tomorrow. Okay. And then we can, okay, I think I can quickly narrate this. Okay, so there's a story of the cobbler and the Brahmana. So this Narada Muni was traveling, okay, and then he saw there is a Brahmana who is a cobbler, okay. Sorry, who is a cobbler? Sorry. Okay, so there is the cobbler who sits under a tree, and there is a very highly learned Brahmana, and they met Narada Muni, and Narada Muni was going to Vaikuntha to see Lord Vishnu. So the Brahmana will ask, the cobbler will ask Narada Muni, where are you going? I'm going to see Lord Vishnu. Oh, is it? Can you tell me what is he doing when you go there? Okay, fine. So then Brahmana came. So Brahmana came, oh, Narada Muni, my obeisances, where are you going? I'm going to Vaikuntha to see Lord Vishnu. Oh, can you come and tell me what was he doing in Vaikuntha? Okay, fine. So Narada Muni went to Vaikuntha and he met Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu asked, oh, how's everything, Narada Muni, on the earth? Yeah, fine. There are two people who asked about you. Oh, really? Okay, what did they ask? They asked, what were you doing? Who are these people? Lord Vishnu asked, oh, this cobbler and there is this Brahmana. Okay, now what you tell, okay, no, sorry, they have this question. Brahmana asked Narada Muni to go ask Lord Vishnu, how many more births I need to take to achieve him? Sorry, I'm confused with another story. And then the cobbler also asked the same question to Narada Muni. Can you go and find out from Lord Vishnu how many more births I have? Okay, so he went to see Lord Vishnu and he asked, these two people asked this. Hello? Okay.
Oh, sure.
Okay. All right. So Narada Muni went to Lord Narayana and he asked the question. So Lord Narayana, Vishnu said, you tell the Brahmana that he has to take 100 lifetimes. Okay. And then you tell the cobbler that he is going to come back at the end of this lifetime. Okay. All right. And then Narada Muni was surprised why the Brahmana who is engaged in worshipping the Lord, reading the scriptures, has so many lifetimes to take to come to Vaikuntha. But the cobbler who has been only doing his job, he is not doing any scripture learning, he's not doing any deity worship, he's not doing any devotional service, has only one birth to come back. Okay. So Lord Vishnu told him, you will know why this is happening. So Narada Muni went down. So the Brahmana asked, so did you ask my question to Lord Vishnu? Yes. He said you have to take 100 births before you come back. Then the Brahmana was very angry and he did not believe Lord Narada Muni. Okay, I think you didn't see him. That's why you're lying to me. It's impossible. I'm very learned Brahmana. It's impossible for me to take 100 births to come. I think you did not see him. Then Narada Muni said, no, I met him. Then the Brahmana said, okay, if it's true that you met him, tell me what was he doing? Okay, and Narada Muni said, this one earlier when Narada Muni went to see Lord Vishnu, Narada Muni had this question, my Lord, why if the Brahmanas, very learned, but you give him 100 births, but the cobbler is just one birth? Okay, they will ask you this question. So they will also ask you, what was I doing? So you tell them, I am trying to thread a needle. How do you say? He tried to put elephant through the eye of a needle. Then Narada Muni was confused. What kind of statement is this? So this is after that only he went down to earth, and then the Brahmana asked us the question, how many more birds for me to take? He said 100 birds, and then the Brahmana did not believe Narada Muni. Okay, if you truly that you met Lord Vishnu, tell him what he was doing. Then Narada Muni said the Lord was putting elephant through eye of a needle. Then the Brahmana said, how is that possible, Narada Muni? I'm pretty sure you did not meet Lord Vishnu, because it's not possible to put through needle through the needle and huge elephant. So like this, the Brahmana offends Narada Muni, and he went off. So Narada Muni was upset. I just passed the message, so what's the problem, right? And then he went to see the cobbler. So the cobbler was so excited to see Narada Muni return from Vaikuntha. And he asked, so did you ask the Lord how many more birds I need to take? The Lord said that you will take only, you will end of this life, you will go back to Vaikuntha. Then the Lord said, oh, the Lord is, the Brahmanas, the cobbler said, oh, the Lord is so merciful. Tell me, Narada Muni, what was the Lord doing? And then the Narada Muni said, the Lord was putting elephant through the eye of a needle. And then the cobbler was so jubilant, was so happy. Oh, my Lord is doing this kind of wonderful thing like that. And Narada Muni said, what do you mean, cobbler? Do you really believe the Lord can actually put elephant through an eye of a needle? Then the cobbler said, why not? I'm not surprised. Look at this huge tree that I am sitting under. It's such a huge tree, but the Lord planted the entire tree in such a small seed. So why is it not possible for the Lord to put an elephant through an eye of a needle? He can do anything. Not only putting elephant through an eye of a needle, he can put anything. So which means, even though you are so learned, you can do a lot of things technically, but if you do not have the basic faith and devotion to the Lord, then it is useless. And if you do not have all this technical knowledge, or you're not a very learned person, you don't know very high-fi things, but if you have the faith and simplicity and devotion on the Lord, then that is sufficient for you to escape from this birth and death. All right, so this is an illustration to show that, of course, knowledge is important, but it's not everything if it doesn't culminate in achieving bhakti. Okay, so you can see the cobbler does not really technically have a good birth, because it's just a cobbler. He doesn't have knowledge or good understanding. Okay, but faith and devotion is what matters. Okay, so we will do this recap tomorrow. You'll remember. So we have one last slide reading. Anybody? Yes, Lakshmi. Long time didn't hear you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. O holy name, you are manifested in two forms. One, the Supreme Person described by the holy name, and second, the sound vibration of the holy name. We know that the second form is even more merciful than the first, because although a person may commit many offenses to your first form, he still will plunge into an ocean of bliss by serving your second, which is voice.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So this verse also appeared in our chapter 11. One of the prayers that an Arjuna will be saying when he see the universal form of the Lord, that the people will love your name, something like that. It's in chapter 11. Okay, I'll try to recall that and share in the group. So even if Krishna is not merciful, his name is more merciful. Okay, and then there is a famous Kirtaniya. Her name is Achyuta Gopi Mataji, one African Mataji. She has said this line, Krishna, through his name alone, he could love. Right? So Krishna and his name are non-different. Okay, so let's chant this mantra one time and we can end the class. Let's have everybody to chant. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Hare